What is up, you guys? We are back with a brand new video. Today we will be giving you our top 10 TV shows of 2020. So if you haven't watched our top 5 movies, go ahead and do so. But here is our list.
And also, once again, this is not in any particular order. This is just our favorite 10 shows of the year. Let's go.
Okay, so I have I'll Be Gone in the Dark. This is a documentary about a woman who gets really invested in the Golden State Killers case and story that she decides to write a book about it. And while she does so, she goes and interviews people and just tries to get down to try to figure out who he is. But before she ends up finishing the book, she dies of natural causes. So, I really like this just because I like the murder mystery kind of thing, even though this isn't really like a mystery because we obviously know by now who the Golden State Killer was. I just found it really interesting how she was writing the book and just how she was feeling while writing the book. Because you don't really get to see documentaries like that, I feel. So next I have Selena Plus Chef on HBO Max. I really love this show. It was hilarious to me. So hilarious. We were watching it. He didn't think it was. He's like, it's not even that funny.
Well, no, I thought it was funny, but not hilarious.
But yeah, this is a good one. Because you don't really see a comical cooking TV show. And she doesn't even mean to be funny, really.
Well,
it just comes to her naturally.
Well, I think the magical thing about her show is the fact that she doesn't know how to cook at all.
Yeah.
That's if she knew how to cook, it wouldn't be as good probably.
Yeah. And not to mention, we did recreate one of her recipes on our other channel. So We'll link it down below if you want to check that out. But moving on, I have Schitt's Creek. Season 6 just came out this year, but I loved all of the seasons as a whole. I actually binged it, and then I was super sad when I had to wait for the newer one to come on. So I liked season 6 just because it was very homey. You see them coming together as a family and just their relationship and how much they've grown since the first season. If you were to look at them where they were before in the season 1, they've come a long way, and it's just a very good feeling to see how much they've come after what they've been through. Next, we have Dash and Lily on Netflix. This is kind of a Christmas TV show, but you don't have to watch it just because it's Christmas. So I like this because of the whole love story behind it. You don't really see them meeting in person. They kind of grown their feelings through writing to each other in a notebook. And they just place it in different spots to find. So I like this one just because of the experience that it brings you through. And I feel like you're almost in that moment with them. And that's kind of cool to me, at least, to kind of be in the moment with them. So next I have Central Park. This is an animated TV show. So this show reminds me of Bob's Burgers just because it's made by the same creator and it just has the same graphics, as well as they use one of the same voice actors. This one is kind of funny, and just the different characters in the show have different perspectives of Central Park. So you get to see how they really feel and what kind of goes on in their head, and just what they get to do on their daily basis while living in the vicinity of the park. What I also liked about this is how they kind of made it a musical as well. So rather than it just being a regular TV show, there is music involved into it.
Some of those songs are fire.
He loved the songs. I thought they were catchy.
Some of them, not all of them.
They were really catchy, and they just made the TV show better and flow even smoother. So next on my list we have American Horror Story 1989. So what I really like about the show is how every season is about something different. And with this season, 1989, it's about these high schoolers who volunteered to be counselors at a camp, which was shut down due to a mass murder that happened. So I just kind of like this one because it's kind of a shift in what they're kind of used to doing. In this one, there's kind of a twist that you don't expect. So yeah, I just like the whole environment with this because it's mostly outdoors. But yeah, I really enjoyed this season a lot just because of the whole plotline and storyline that they have going on. And it kind of just makes you think wow, that could have really happened when we all went on a field trip in 5th grade in the middle of nowhere in the woods to go camping with our whole grade, which kind of freaked me out. Okay, next we have Virgin River season 2. It's on Netflix. This one is a comforting TV show to watch just because the main character, the female, Mel, She is just so like wholesome, I guess you can say. So this is kind of like a drama TV series, and you really get that drama from this show. You just see the whole entanglement that Mel has to go through with the guy she likes in that town, while she's also suffering from the difficulty of losing her husband at the same time. I just really like this show because it's just so comforting and heartwarming, even though there's like sad parts going on. But I also like how this is based in like a small town. Something about small town shows I just love because I want to live in a small town. So next we have Flight Attendant. It's on HBO Max. So I like this one just because it's kind of like a murder mystery, even to the viewer. Like normally you have an idea of what happened and who did it and this and that, but with this you really don't have that. Like you start to pick things up as like the episodes go on, but you really don't get the full story until the very end when everything is pieced together. So that's why I really like this one, because it kept you guessing and you kind of got to go along the journey with the flight attendant. Okay, next I have The Haunting of Bly Manor. It's on Netflix. This was a great show. It's creepy, it's spooky, it's scary, all at the same time, and you don't really get that kind of vibe, especially with a TV show. Like, you really get it with movies, but you rarely get it with TV shows. I feel like there should be more TV shows like this. Again, same with The Flight Attendant, like you learn things as you go on throughout the episodes. And you get to learn about a different character in the TV show in separate episodes. I feel like if you just get a portion of an episode for that one person, you won't really get their full backstory, which really brings us together because you get, like, I feel like if they didn't do this way, you wouldn't really get the story fully, which I liked. So last on my list, I have Little Fires Everywhere. It's on Hulu. What I liked about this is that you kind of got to see a white woman that has a whole family and is very wealthy, while on the other side you get a black woman who has her daughter and isn't really doing that well financially that we know of. So as this film goes on, you kind of get to see like, oh, this is what they're going through, this is what she's been through, but she's snooping through her information because something's off about what she's saying and this and that. Come to find out, she has like this one thing that's very valuable and has all this money. This is just full with drama and mystery. Just the whole dynamic of this TV show makes you wanting more of it. I also like how this show gets a little complicated with relationships. So both mothers kind of go at it, which kind of puts the children in a difficult situation, like just to hang out with and be around. So yeah, that's the top 10 TV shows on my list, so let's go on to you.
All right, so the first one on my list is gonna be The Queen's Gambit. It's actually one of the most recent ones I watched. It's incredible for me. Like, I just like the way they just made the show. Like, it was paced perfectly. The casting was great. You don't even need to be into chess to really enjoy the show because everything else was just so good. I feel like this was super high quality for Netflix because they obviously have a lot of high quality stuff, but they also have a lot of low quality stuff. And this is one of the best things they've ever made. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this wins awards. All right, next on my list is gonna be Ozark Season 3. I personally love the first two, so this third season was the same thing. It was super high for me. I like the new characters that they brought in, and again, it just makes you wanting more. And I think there's only one more season left, and I can't wait because we need answers to what goes on because there's some crazy stuff that happens. You know, it's a show that's interesting because it's a show that just, there's a lot of problems and differences within the family and their relationship in multiple ways with the husband and the wife and the kids and other people in the family as well as friends of the family, and it's just super complicated, but it's really good, and Jason Bateman's a GOAT. All right, the next one on my list is Devs. It's on Hulu. This one, I really loved it when I first watched it. I thought it was gonna be like probably top 3 shows of the year. It's probably not top 3, but it's up there, obviously. It's top 10. So this show is interesting just because of the fact that it's all about like different dimensions basically and technology. And for me, I'm just super into that kind of stuff and just like wondering like if you die, like what happens, or if you can just live in other worlds. And also this show was cool just because it's like a mystery, you know, for the longest time of figuring out what this tech company is actually doing and this like secretive thing they have in the woods. I don't know. Everything about it was just so good. The twists that are in the show just make it even better. And also it's a show that you can just binge. Like, you can just keep watching it and watching it and watching it until you're done. And I think it's a limited series, so I think there's no more seasons coming up, but this one was perfect. Next on my list is Little Fires Everywhere, also on Hulu. She pretty much broke down the main reasons why it was good. Another reason for me, though, is probably going to be just, like, again, since there's one that's, like, a white family, it's mostly about the mom. So the white mom and her life versus the black mom and her life. you can just see the two different perspectives on life and how they clash in a way. They both learn things. I'm not gonna get too deep into it just because she mostly broke down most of it. So super good show. It's definitely one of the best shows of the year. All right, next on my list is Mythic Quest. It's Apple TV Plus. Super good show. I love this show. It's basically about this gaming studio. Mythic Quest is the game. So the show takes place in the studio, and basically it's just their everyday life in the studio and what goes on and creating the game and decisions that need to be made. And I just think the overall the show is just funny. It flows really well, and they also had a quarantine episode, a special episode, and I thought that was really great. I loved it. I can't wait for season 2, and I feel like this is a show that can kind of go on for a while, just because there's always new things or new stuff you can add into this type of show. Next on the list is Ted Lasso, another Apple TV Plus show. This is, a lot of people were saying this is like the best show that they've came out with. So it's about this American coach that's never coached soccer before, so he goes and does that. And he has, you know, the owners, and he has people in the organization going against him, and he makes the best of it. And it's just a really funny show and like a feel-good show. Yeah, it's just really good overall. Like everything about it, it just makes you want to keep watching it. And Jason Sudeikis played it perfect. Like he's the star of the show. He's the main character, but he also is literally the star of the show because he's the best character. All right, next on my list is another Apple TV Plus show, and it's gonna be Tehran. And I guess the show was originally just an Israeli thriller on TV over there, but they brought it over here on Apple TV Plus, and I thought it was super, super good. Like I think this is probably one of the best shows that they've came out with, Apple TV Plus. It was just super good. It, like, I didn't think it was gonna be as good. Everyone said it was, because a lot of people were saying, again, like it's like one of the best shows that they've came out with. And I watched it and I loved it. I loved every single thing about it. I liked the whole like spy aspect of it. But I just think overall the show just carried on very well. There was a twist in there that was a little predictable, but overall though, I just personally really enjoyed it. I normally don't really binge too many shows, but this one I watched pretty quick. Next on my list is The Haunting of Bly Manor, Netflix. Another one that she already mentioned, but yeah, this show was super good because going into it, you think it's gonna be super scary and creepy the whole time. Like that's like the main vibe, but then it kind of drifts off from that a little bit, where it still has that, but it's not fully just that. Kind of like The Haunting of Hill House was more of just that. This one, almost like a love story as well, mixed in with it. I just thought this was another masterpiece of a show, like The Queen's Gambit, where it was just done perfectly. It was done in a way that was like real artistic in my opinion. All right, next on my list, The Boys season 2, Amazon Prime Video. Super good. I really liked the first one. This one, I don't know if it was as good as the first one, but I still thought it was really good. This show is just fun and dope because of the fact that it's like a superhero show, but it's way more geared for adults and not as much as like the MCU, you know, Marvel and stuff is mostly family oriented. Like it's not super crazy. It's not as gory or like even sexual or like whatever. But this one is just all that. Another thing about the show is you don't really have to be into superheroes to really like the show. I just think the show overall, like the story and all that, is good, and just how crazy the show is good. Like if you're into crazy stuff or a lot of wild things happening, this show is good, even if you're not into superheroes. All right, and last on my list is going to be Servant, another Apple TV Plus show. This one, if this one came out later in the year, it probably would be higher, but I didn't forget about the show, but I forget how I felt fully when I first watched it. But I remember I did like it a lot, and I think it was good enough to go on this list. This one is about basically this couple that has a kid, and they hire a nanny, and again, a lot of creepy stuff just starts happening, and they start finding out things about the kid, about the family, about the nanny. I thought the show did a really good job with being like really creepy and setting a creepy vibe without having to try too hard. Like there was no really jump scares. It was nothing that, like no monsters or like nothing crazy, but it still left with a creepy vibe. And I thought the way they did that was, again, another thing that was just masterfully done. I just overall thought it was really good. Season 2 is about to come out, actually. We'll be reviewing that. But yeah, that's going to be my top 10 TV shows of the year. I think there was a lot of good TV shows this year. I don't know. I feel like there was a lot of, I mean, maybe there always is, but I just feel like a lot of my shows that I liked this year were like really, really good. Like I was really into them. Mm-hmm. To have 10 shows I really liked, I feel like that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So, looks like we made a mistake. Well, she made a mistake.
So, we keep a list of every month that we put for our top 5. And I completely forgot because we started this in May.
I don't know, at some point.
We probably started this in May. And I started my list off in June because I forgot about May. I forgot to write it down. And I forgot. But I need to add Dickinson to my list. It's on Apple TV Plus.
Season 2 coming out very shortly. We'll have a review on that as well.
Yes. So it stars Haley Steinfeld. She plays Emily Dickinson. And Emily Dickinson was a famous poet. So I just kind of like how they modernized this TV show for the current generation with modern music and just the feel of the whole TV show to make you feel the want to watch it. And I just really like this, not only because of that, but because it has Haley Steinfeld in it. And I stan her. She's just such a great actor and singer and at everything she does.
So yeah, that's another show also that's coming out soon, and we will have a review on that. But yeah, so that is our top 10. Well, my top 10, her top 11 TV shows of 2020. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, definitely leave a like on the video. We appreciate that. Subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below your favorite TV shows of the year, and let us know what you thought about our list. But either way though, my name is Matt.
My name is Nicole.
And we'll catch you next time.